Hi, Dr. TJ Dixon here, your intuitive guide to transformation, connecting to your best life. Today's message is, why me? Have you ever asked that question? God, why me? Why did I have to go through what I went through when I was a child? Why am I going through what I'm going through today? God, why me? Why must I be the one that had to live through this? God, why me? Why did I have to see this? At some point or another, probably all of you who are watching has asked that question, why me? Well, today's message is an answer to that why me question. So first, reason, why me? Sometimes when we go through something, it forces us to really look inside, dig down, and heal our wounds. Sometimes we go through things that are so hard on us, so tough on us, that it makes us really seek our wellness. Because if we don't seek our wellness and we don't heal those wounds, we're not going to be able to move on in life. Sometimes at all, like it will literally kill us. And sometimes it just simply kills our spirits or our minds. So for example, many years ago, about 15 years ago, I went through major change for me and realized I was going to go through a divorce. And for me, that was devastating. It was huge because I had based so much of my identity, so much of who I thought I was, so much of the salve to my childhood wounds on being married and staying married and being happily married. And when that was not the case any longer for me, and that marriage wasn't going to work anymore, it forced me to start to seek my wellness. It forced me to look at every area of my life, my spirit, my mind, my body, absolutely my relationships, and my finances. It forced me to look in all those areas and begin to heal all of those areas. And what I found was, although I was seeking wellness because of the pain I was in from a marriage ending, what really happened to me was it helped me to dig down and really start healing those childhood wounds. That was the catalyst for me putting so much at stake, so much of my heart on the line, so much of my identity, really more so my identity on the line, thinking that I had to be married in order to be somebody. So that's the first thing, is sometimes, because I ask that question, why me, God? Why? Why am I having to go through this divorce? Why do I have to be the one that has a marriage end? Why couldn't this have worked for me? It's working for her and it's working for him. Why couldn't it have worked for me? But for me, it ended up being a catalyst to me seeking wellness and healing those wounds that I had even as a child. So number two, second reason why me? Sometimes when you go through something, it actually builds the strength in you and the wisdom in you to be who you really are today. So again, I look at myself, and I used to ask this question all the time. God, why me? Why was I the last born? Why am I the only born of my two parents? Why was I the one born and my mom and dad weren't married, so I didn't carry my dad's last name? Why did I have to be the illegitimate kid? Why? Why me, Lord? And I used to really get frustrated with that. And even being the last born, and being so far, being so far down in between myself and my sibling next to me in age, I thought, why me, Lord? I'm going to have to probably see everyone die. And that used to scare me quite a bit as a child. It used to scare me. And I used to carry around quite a bit of shame for not carrying my father's name. But you know what that did? It gave me strength to be who I am today. I'm a pretty independent person. I have a different thought process than a lot of people because I kind of grew up where I was almost like a single child in the home. Because I didn't really fit any of the stereotypes or the boxes, I have had to develop a life, and I've developed a life that's pretty unique because I don't really fit any stereotypes. So it helped me build the strength, and it helped me build the wisdom of the person that I am today. I don't have to go by anybody's sense of normalcy because things for me have never really quite fit neatly into any box. So maybe that's the same for you. Maybe you're asking why me? Think about it. Are you just really different from everyone else? Because that actually is a strength. Do you think differently than everybody else? Actually, that's a strength too, because maybe you have some wisdom that others simply don't have because they grew up more neatly than you did. What is that for you on your why me? What's your strength and wisdom that you've been blessed with because of that? Why me? A third reason, why me, God? Why me? Is your story can help other people. Your story, what you are doing today, can help other people. So think about that. Here I am. I'm on YouTube. If somebody had told me back when I was 16 years old, when I was 4 years old, yeah, someday you're going to be talking into a camera and you're going to have this YouTube channel, you're going to have followers, I would never have even understood what any of that could have meant. And I probably, even if I could have understood, would have been like, not me. I'm going to be an accountant. I don't know what this camera stuff is, this messages stuff is. I'm not going to be doing that. But because of my story, because of my background, because I grew up like I did, because I went through a big life crisis change, big transformation 15 years ago, and I started to identify myself as just who I am versus a role that I felt I needed to play in order to fulfill, in order to cover up wounding that I had when I was a kid. If I hadn't have had that story, I wouldn't be talking to you today. I wouldn't have the YouTube channel. I wouldn't be a life coach. I wouldn't be a business coach. I wouldn't be a minister. I wouldn't be a Reiki practitioner. I would not be blogging or have written a book. Definitely wouldn't have written a book. There's so many things that I am doing today. I wouldn't work in wellness. I wouldn't even probably understand what that even is if I didn't have my story. So what's your story? There's something about you. There's something that you've gone through, something you've done, something you've overcome. Maybe it's on your job. Maybe it's in your family of origin. Maybe it's in your current life now if you're married. Maybe it's because you didn't get married. Maybe it's with being a parent or not a parent. But you have a story. There's some story that you have that if you told that story, it could probably be a really big blessing to other people, because maybe they can see some of what they're going through in your story. Maybe they can feel like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. If she was able to heal and get better, maybe I can heal and get better. Because her life, it wasn't perfect either, and neither is mine. But maybe, just maybe, things can get better for me. So what is your story? And how can you begin to start telling your story so that your story also can not just be a blessing to you, but also to other people? And finally, one of the last things that I want to say about why me, God, why me, is sometimes we don't know why. I can't tell you why if you grew up in a household where you experienced physical abuse. I don't know why. I can't tell you why you weren't born into a household where you didn't have to experience that. I can't tell you why, if you have been sexually assaulted, why couldn't you have been protected? Why wasn't someone there to stop the assailant? Why? I can't tell you those whys. Sometimes you don't know those whys. However, we can take those whys Instead of having the why and letting that why eat us up, like why me, God, why me? Sometimes we can change the question to how. How, God, can this experience, can my past, can how I grew up, can what I've gone through, how can this be used for good? How? That's alchemy. How we can take something that's seemingly nothing, or something that feels icky and nasty and bad. How can we take that and create something very beautiful, something very unique, something that is a blessing to us and a blessing to others? How? Because a lot of times in those traumas and in those tragedies, man, there is great rebirth. It's like beauty out of ashes. It's like the rose out of concrete. What is your rose that needs to grow up out of your concrete? What's the beauty that needs to come from your ashes? What is it? And if you've been busy just asking, why me, God? Why me? And you still don't have an answer, or at least not one that feels okay for you to move on, maybe change that question to how. I don't know why, but how can this be for good? How? Because, you know, sometimes I find it so amazing. There's some remarkable people who have lost their children in tragic car accidents. They've lost their parents at very, very young ages. They've been homeless. They've gone through so many things. And sometimes these people are the biggest lights in the world. They shine light. It's like light just beams off of them. They give me life. I look at them and there's just their faces are radiant. They have the greatest love of people, love of themselves, love of God. They are amazing, beautiful human beings. But yet there's a lot of pain and tragedy that have been in their past. And now they use that as fuel to spread light in this world. So maybe that's you. And maybe if it's not you yet, maybe that's exactly the why. Maybe that is why you fell in love with that person and now you're breaking up and your heart is torn apart. And damn it, you just can't get past the fact that you loved him and now you're breaking up, or you loved her and you wanted to marry her and now your relationship is over. And your heart is just torn up and you're like, God, why did you even let me fall in love with this person? Why me, God? Why me? Maybe it's now how. Because maybe, just maybe, that relationship or that thing you went through is that catalyst for you to really start living the life that you came here to live. Maybe it's now time for you to really start doing the work that you came here to do. Maybe it's now time for you to start being the person that you really are versus what you think you should be. So maybe again, alchemy. Maybe you're an alchemist. Maybe take that why and turn it into a how and create something super beautiful out of your why me, God, why me. Now, if you've liked today's message and you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. Also, feel free to share this video. Maybe you're doing just fine, but you know somebody. You're like, I need to share this with my niece. I need to share this with my son. I need to share this with my sister or my friend. Maybe it's a coworker. Feel free to share this video with anyone who you think might be blessed by hearing the message in this video. As well, if you have a comment, please comment below. And if you'd like to know about the work that I do, or you need some assistance, maybe you need some one-on-one coaching to help you really get past this why me, God, why me, check out my website at www.drtjdixon.com and contact me. contact me. I do coach virtually, so you don't even need to meet with me in person if you're not local. And even if you're watching this and you're overseas, I do also coach not just locally, but nationally and internationally as well. So contact me. Let's talk. Thank you so much for your time, for watching, and may you live your best life.